There is so much to buy regarding preparedness. We can spend literally thousands of dollars. And while some of these supplies we really shouldn't skimp on, we don't need to spend more money than necessary on some of the others. Some of these supplies that I'm going to be talking about today, you may never have really thought about, but they do make a lot of sense. Whether you're talking about these as gifts for friends during the holidays, items you keep in your car, or just preparedness supplies that are cost effective. These are some of the supplies that you might as well have them. These are the supplies that may be a backup to your regular supplies or break glass in case of emergency. Today, I've got 20 preparedness supplies that you can get for under $20. Now, these aren't the quote-unquote top of the line preparedness supplies, but they will absolutely get the job done. And as we go through this list, if you can think of anything else, make sure and leave a comment below. And later on in the video, after I go over these 20 supplies, I've also got a few more cost-effective preparedness supplies that aren't really considered preparedness supplies. To us they are, but to the average person, they wouldn't consider them preparedness supplies. So with that, let's go ahead and dive into the list. And the first one I've got here is actually the best one, I think, and that is the Morakniv. We've all heard the saying, too good to be true, and the Morakniv is actually the exception to that rule. This review right here states exactly what I feel about this and what a lot of people feel about this knife. Top-notch blade quality, comfortable grip, versatile use, durable strength. It's an incredible value. Given its top-tier quality, the affordability of this knife is almost unbelievable. It's a professional grade tool available at an entry-level price. And this really is, if you are just starting out in preparedness and you don't want to spend $200 on a really good fixed blade knife, grab yourself a Morakniv. If you are at Walmart and you see some of the cheap knives on the shelves, don't be tempted. Just get yourself a Morakniv. Number 2 on the list, I have the low-cost water filters, and these are the Sawyer Minis and the Life Straws. Those are the main 2 I recommend. Now, these filters aren't going to filter down and get the viruses and chemicals, but they are portable and they are going to get the job done in most scenarios. These filter down to 0.1 micron in size, and they remove all bacteria, salmonella, cholera, E. coli. They remove protozoa like Giardia and Cryptosporidium and remove microplastics. They probably aren't going to get viruses and chemicals and things like that. But as far as in a bug out bag in your vehicle, these are great to have and they are low cost. But keep in mind, they're not going to remove everything that you need to out of some water sources. Number 3 on the list here, I have the MicroPur MP1 from Cordage. These are water purification tablets that if you are worried about those viruses, this will kill those viruses as well. So in conjunction with maybe a Sawyer or a Life Straw, you can use these to get viruses out of the water. Now, these are really easy to use. You drop them in the water that you need purified. You wait about 30 minutes, depending on the temperature of the water, and you are good to go. These will not filter out the sediment and things like that, so maybe pre-filter the water before you actually use these tablets. The next one I have here is the Aquatainer, and this is because water is so important in preparedness. This is a 7-gallon water container. It's a square container, meaning it's going to be much easier to store. Yes, you can get 2-liter water bottles for free and things like that, but for storing large amounts of water, this square design will fit in a closet, will fit anywhere that you need to store a large amount of water. And at $15, it's a whole lot cheaper than the water bricks and some of the others on the market. So this Aquatainer is great. Maybe every couple of months you buy another one, and pretty soon you've got 70, 80 gallons of water stored for an emergency or disaster situation. Number 5 on the list, I have a heavy-duty emergency blanket, and there are a bunch of different kinds. This one I'm using today is the SOL. They are much thicker and much better than the little dollar survival blankets that you'll find. You get a 10-pack for $10. This one is waterproof, windproof, tear resistant. It's 58 inches by 98 inches and it weighs 3.2 ounces. So while the cheaper solar blankets, they do serve their purpose, you'll want something that's a little bit heavier duty. And this is about $15, but there are some that are even more expensive and more durable. But this is a step up from those little $1 survival blankets. Number 6 here is compressed towels, or I call them toilet paper tablets because you just never know. But these are coin sized, and what you do is you add a couple, maybe a tablespoon of water to them, and they expand out, and they are much more durable than a regular paper towel, sort of the same strength as a wet wipe, but they have a large surface area, and you can do a lot of different things with these tablets, and they're so compact and lightweight. I have them in my everyday carry kit. I have them all over the place, actually, in my bug out bag, in my cars, a lot of different places. They could be used for cleaning, like I said, the toilet paper tablets. They can be used to pre-filter water, as I mentioned earlier. A lot of different uses for these, and nice, compact, and all you need to do is add a little bit of water. Number 7 I have on my list is either paracord or bank line, some sort of cordage. And these are a must in any survival situation, in bug out bags. Keep them in your vehicles. I personally prefer the bank line. I know that the paracord, the 550 paracord, has the 6 different strands in there, which gives you more cordage per foot. But I do like the bank line because it's a lot easier to use, a lot easier to get knots tied and things like that. This bank line right here is number 36 black nylon. It's about $15 and it's 121 feet. But bank line, cordage, paracord, any sort of cordage that you can get is always good to have, and it is low cost. Again, just like the water container, something you can get a little bit here, a little bit there, and pretty soon you'll be well stocked on cordage. Number 8 I have here are headlamps, and there are just there's probably thousands of different types of headlamps, ranging from $10 or maybe even $5 all the way up to $100 or even more. One that I have that I like a lot is the Energizer LED headlamp. It's 1,000 lumens. It costs about $16, and it's got a rechargeable battery with a few different light modes. But headlamps are great. Flashlights are wonderful, but headlamps are great because it allows you to use 2 hands. The light shows where you are looking. Headlamps are just one of those tools that's much easier to use than a flashlight. Number 9 on the list is books and guides, and there are some you can get on Amazon, and there are some that are more than $20, $30 or so, but there are quite a few that are under that. There's even times when you can get some of these for free, and you can even look on the internet and find some of these PDFs, the Army manuals, things like that. These books and guides are going to be really helpful in not only just learning about what might happen or how to do things, but in a situation where there is no internet, having hard copies of these books or files that you can access on a flash drive could be critical in a situation like that, for you to be able to access that information. Whether it's tying knots, building shelters, or fortifying your home, these books and guides are always great to have. I also have quite a few downloadable PDFs and survival guides over at the Bug Out location. If you want to check that out, just head over to thebugoutlocation.net. Number 10 here, I have Ration Bars, and these aren't the greatest survival food on the planet, but they do have a purpose. They are very compact, they are high in calories, and while it's not something you are going to want to eat for an extended period of time, they do have a 5 or 6 year shelf life. And if you put 1 or 2 of these in your bug out bag, in your everyday carry, it's going to get you the calories that you need. It's going to give you more calories than a granola bar, although it's not going to taste as good. Some of these do make you a little bit thirsty, so make sure you have water as well with these. But these Ration Bars would make a great gift for somebody to just try out, and also something that comes in a small package and it's easy to store. So these Ration Bars cost, $12 to $15, and just really good to have a couple of these laying around. At number 11 here, and actually the next 3 are sort of low cost in case of emergency break glass compact survival items. And this one is a Go Time LifeBivy. This sort of is the same thing as the Mylar blanket, other than it's a sleeping bag, so you're contained in this LifeBivy. Now, this is not something you're going to be able to use time and time again. This is probably a one-time, two-time use type item, a bug-out bag type item. It's lightweight, it's small and compact. You can smush it, it's not going to ruin it. Something like this you could put in the trunk of your car or anywhere else that you think it might be useful. And along the same lines here is number 12, and it's a mini backpack. And this fits in a small little pouch. Again, you could put this in the trunk of your car. You could have it in your bug out bag if you want. What I like about these, yes, we have our larger bug out bags, our higher quality bug out bags, and we shouldn't use one of these as a bug out bag. But if you are at work and you're in a get-home situation, you have a coworker or a friend with you, and you want them to carry some stuff, pulling out one of these little backpacks out of the trunk of your car or your back seat will give you the option to load them out as well. So lessen your load and make sure they are literally carrying their weight. So I really like these little 18-liter waterproof backpacks. They're about 20 bucks, but these would also make great little gifts as stocking stuffers or something like that, or even just to get people a little bit interested in preparedness. Again, I do want to reiterate, this is not a bug out bag. This is an emergency bag that you can use or you can give to somebody else that you want to carry some things around. And number 10 here is a little survival shelter, a little temporary tent, I suppose. It's not the greatest in the world, but it's going to work if you do need to put up an emergency shelter. If you don't have a high quality tarp or lean-to with you, something like this is one of those better than nothing type items to have in a disaster. So once again, something like this would be good to keep in your car, or your teenagers' cars, or maybe people that don't have a bug out bag could have this in their car, because it's going to be a lot better sleeping in one of these in conjunction with the LifeBivy and the high quality Mylar blanket. That's going to be a whole lot better than sleeping under the stars. So number 14 on the list is a Lucy lantern, and you might have heard about these. They're pretty popular in the preparedness community. These are lightweight, they're collapsible, they're inflatable, so they're easy to store. They don't take up a lot of space or weight. These are 75 lumens. They are not going to light up the neighborhood, but they are great to have to just add a little bit of light to a room, a campsite, or wherever you are. They are also solar charged. You can charge these in about 7 hours with a solar panel. So if you are bugging out, you can strap this to the back of your pack, or if you're camping, you just leave it on the picnic table and it's good to go for the evening. Number 15 I have here is a knife sharpener, a little pocket knife sharpener. And this is something that quite a few people really sort of forget about. They don't use their knife very often and they don't think about sharpening it. But when you are in a survival situation, you're going to want to have the sharpest blade possible. It may seem a little bit counterintuitive, but a sharper blade is actually safer than a dull blade because you're not using as much force to get something done. But this little Sharpel right here has even got a little Ferro Rod on it. It cost about 10 bucks. It's got a whistle on it and a sharpening rod. So this is something I have in my bug out bag. I've actually got a few of these, and just a great little tool to have. It doesn't beat a whetstone, but a whetstone, you're going to spend more than the 20 bucks, and you can't really put a whetstone in your bug out bag. Number 16 here on my list, I have glow sticks, and you've got to be careful with glow sticks because you can get some pretty cheap, low-cost ones that aren't really going to do the job or aren't going to last a very long time. These ones I've got here, these 25 ultra bright green glow sticks, are about $19, $20, and they have about a 12-hour duration. And there are a lot of different lighting options that we have, but the glow sticks could be good for vehicles, whether you're signaling somebody, or good just to have around the house, and even a little bit of entertainment for the children when the power goes out. But glow sticks are one of those low-cost supplies that you don't need to have hundreds of them, but you could find yourself in a situation where they would be beneficial. Number 17, I have the Onite USB LED light bulb, and there are a few different options for these as well. There are some that don't even have a cord, but these are $10. You plug it into a mini battery bank or anything that has a USB port on it, and you'll have plenty of light, whether you are reading, trying to work in the garage, or even a campsite. These come with an 8-foot cord, so you have a little bit of flexibility as far as where you want to put this and where your power source is. And they are 400 lumens, which isn't the brightest in the world, but it will get the job done. These USB LED light bulbs are pretty cool, and also would make a fantastic gift for someone that is in preparedness or that you're trying to get interested in preparedness. Number 18 I have here is a Ferro Rod, and this may be a no-brainer to a lot of people out there, but a Ferro Rod, not only have one, but learn to use it and learn how more difficult it's going to be to get a fire started with one of these Ferro Rods than if you were using a Bic lighter. But you want to get a larger Ferro Rod. The little ones are fine, but the larger ones are going to do a much better job, the larger, softer ones. This one right here is a Bayite 4-inch Ferro Rod, and it's about $14, but it's a nice thick Ferro Rod with a striker, and one of the top rated ones that on Amazon and from other websites as well. And then sort of along the same lines, I've got number 19 here is fire starters. And there are quite a few different options for this. One of the best that I've tried and that I recommend is the Fire Flame Quick Instant Fire Starters. And these sort of look like little baggies of wax that you just light on fire. Or if you were using a Ferro Rod, you just open up the little baggie and make a little pile. But these work absolutely fantastic. You get 20 in a pouch, and they are about $15 a piece. Again, as far as stocking stuffers or gifts for friends, there is no prepper on the planet that would be mad that they got some of these in their stocking. And then finally on the list here at number 20, I have waterproof matches. And while matches and lighters are fantastic, we need to make sure that we have waterproof matches as well, because you just never know. You don't want to reach into a bug out bag or wherever you have your matches and have them be soaked and not work anymore. So having a bunch of different types of matches is great, but I suggest have a few of them that are waterproof matches, especially in your bug out bag or anything that you may be using outdoors in your camping gear and your everyday carry. Make sure you have the high quality waterproof matches. I personally like these Zippo Typhoons. They're about $14, but they come in a waterproof container, and the matches themselves are waterproof, and there's 15 of them in there. So something great to have in your preparedness supplies, and go ahead and get another one and as a gift for someone else as well. I guarantee you, if they're interested in preparedness or the outdoors, they would absolutely love them. So that's my list here of 20 items under $20. I know there's probably a whole bunch more, and like I said in the beginning, make sure and leave a comment below if you've got any ideas for anyone else. And I also mentioned in the beginning about a video I did a little while ago about 20 items to stockpile, 20 cheap and inexpensive items to stockpile. And these items aren't necessarily the quote-unquote preparedness supplies that you'll hear about all over the place, but they are supplies you're going to want to have just in case. It's one of those things where you just never know when you're going to need them, but if you don't have them, you're going to wish you did. So if you're interested in that, make sure and check out this video right here. That's it for today, everyone. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. But take care and prepare. We will talk to you all later.